Arguably, the most noticeable name in the world of car manufacture belongs to Ferrari. The most successful Formula 1 team, as well as a slew of other successes in other motorsports, the prancing horse is the quintessential Italian powerhouse. Becoming an auto manufacturer in 1947, the first car produced is this, the 125S. Only 2 were ever made, but it went on to win 6 out of the 14 races it took part in, and showed the world that the name Ferrari meant serious business. It boasts a glorious 1.5 litre V12 and you can hear it rumble and roar in front of me, producing a modest 118 brake horsepower. This thing really is something special. You can feel it in the car, the pedigree that this paved for all future Ferraris. It's just sublime how people could actually race these things back in the day. I can barely keep it on the road on these tyres. Throughout the 50s and 60s, Ferrari was known as a general sports car manufacturer, cars that would get you from A to B with a bit of Italian styling. In the 70s, the prancing horse began to run, producing such classics as the Dino and the 512 Berlinetta. But it was really the 1980s when Ferrari began making what it's now famous for, supercars. Many still perceive this as the greatest supercar ever made, 33 years later. And to be honest, it's hard to see why not. Built as Ferrari's 40th anniversary birthday present, it was the last car to be approved by Enzo Ferrari before his death in 1988. It really does look and feel at home here in the Italian countryside. Behind me right now is a wonderful twin turbocharged V8 that powers this thing, producing almost 500 brake horsepower out the box. The way this thing turns in just on the road is simply incredible, and even with the turbo lag, this car feels so planted and perfect. It's just a joy to drive. Oh, I could drive this thing all day long. In today's money, you would have had to spend almost £700,000 for a brand new F40. Nowadays, you'd be lucky to get one for under £1 million. It has to be one of the most gorgeous cars ever built. Pininfarina to the core, capped off by the single best wing of any road car. Seriously, look at that! However, with most anniversaries, people don't remember the 40th year, but the half century. So, what happened? In short, this. The Ferrari F50. Based on a Formula 1 car, the Ferrari F50 boasts an astonishing V12 that sounds just tremendous. This time, this car easily produces over 500 brake horsepower, with a top speed of just over 200 miles per hour. Just check out that noise! The engine was a proven race winner too, being used in the Ferrari 333 SP over in IMSA. So why on earth did this thing get left on the sidelines? Well, for 2 reasons. The first is that it came out after the F40, which sold over 1,300 units in its 6-year production run, and before the frankly incredible Enzo, so was always left out when talking about the greatest Ferraris. The second is that many thought that the front of this car was ugly and unrefined. In my opinion, I think it still looks fantastic. Pininfarina doing a sterling job at hitting that blend of, oh, that's a Ferrari, but also, oh, it has cup holders. I think the rear is where the car excels, with the 4 exhausts mirroring the lighting pattern and a more rounded wing to what the F40 had, giving the car a much more refined feel. And the wheels are a super unique upgrade on the F40 rims, which look absolutely wonderful in motion. I seriously can't see anything wrong with the car, while in fact being cheaper than the F40 when inflation is calculated. Only 349 were ever sold. Nowadays it's hard to see one for less than £2.5 million. To put that into context, a Ferrari Enzo these days will set you back about £1.5 million if you find the right dealer. However, if I had the money, I know which one I'd pick.